yeah, I wanted to finish up with the mine if I could, yeah.
Final comments on the revenue of the parking department.
And the
I'm
name is?
Garrett Ian of Leverett Street. So today I talked with one of the landscapers employed by the city of Keene, and he spent a good portion of the day using a hose to wash chalkings off of the sidewalk, both in Central Square and downtown in front of Fat Stuff, where I guess people were writing in protest of the raid the other day. I don't think it's a wise use of city resources to be removing either art or political speech or kids' drawings or whatever. And from what I understand, I guess some of the parking funds go to beautification downtown, so I guess maybe parking is paying for chalk removal. I'd like to see the landscapers working on landscaping and picking up trash and some of the other good things they do, and not censoring people.
Thank you. Okay, hopefully that's the end of my memo. Who's the next motion?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. This information only.
Move that the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommend this report be accepted as information.
Second. Anything further? All in favor? Good, okay, thank you. I'll be careful of sending memos. Okay, now returning to the item on the agenda, this would be item 5 from the parking manager, continued discussion pertaining to the parking rate increases. So this is more aimed at the revenue side of things.
If you may recall at the last meeting, March 13th, we presented to this committee some proposals or an original proposal to try and increase the rates after evaluating what our fund balance was in the projections that were going to occur in the very near future. Basically, at that point, we were given the authority through the council to come forward with an ordinance. However, the chair of the committee requested that we actually have some more discussion prior to that happening, and that's what we're here for today, is to continue our discussion. We have given you some information today, this evening, based on, to try and make it a little clearer as to where we are today. The original proposal that the parking division had presented to the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee. And the third is that we have given just one example, just for discussion purposes, so that we can continue this discussion and get some direction from the council on as to which way you would like to proceed. So basically, if you look at attachment A, as you outlined in the memo, attachment A is basically what we are doing today. It is does not have any rate change. As you'll see in FY12, as we stated in the past, we were no longer operating in the black. We were actually losing money annually. And as you see, that will increase each year based on those projections. So if we were to continue on today, we will, as projected in FY17, if you look at the projected fund balance down towards the bottom, that includes all capital costs, it includes all expenses and revenues. You'll see that basically in FY17, which begins June of 2016, we will no longer have any fund balance remaining in the parking fund. This was one of the reasons that after we reviewed, this has been talked about in the past, that we felt that it was necessary to start this discussion in order to make sure that we end up with a fund balance that is sustainable for the parking division. Attachment B, all of these are set up the same way. Attachment B was the original proposal, and I'll go over those proposals with you so that everybody can hear them. Basically, we would have a 25-cent increase in the downtown 2-hour meters, basically going from 25 cents for 30 minutes to 25 cents for 20 minutes. In the lots, we presented a 30-cent increase, which would be that it would go to a 50-cent per hour, or 25 cents per 30 minutes in the long-term lots, which are the 10-hour meters. We would increase the reserve rates, both covered and uncovered, by $15. And what doesn't show here is we also asked for an increase in the violation rate, which is from $5 to $10. And that violation rate now currently, our current rates are $5 for the initial ticket, After 14 days, it goes to $15, and after 28 days, it goes to $35. As part of our proposal, we asked that the $10 be initiated for the first offense violation and go 28 days for payment, and then after 28 days, it would go to $35, giving people more time to pay their violation. And of course, the increase in the time. We're looking to go from 8 to 5 to 9 to 7. That proposal, original proposal, as you will see down in the projected net income after the rate change, we would be in the black. We would be not losing money. And basically, our fund balance would continue to sustain the parking division. What I must note, and make sure that everybody understands, that these projections that we put together by the finance department and the parking division, and what you see in front of you does not include any unscheduled repairs. For instance, as you've been noted, the Well Street deck is in need of some maintenance work. That does not include any of those items. It does not include any future projects. It just includes current operation of what we're doing today and continuing on with the capital improvement program to maintain our lots and our garages, again, that are aging. In attachment C, it's basically what we did is, we had heard during the last meeting that there was a lot of discussion about workforce parking, whether we should raise those rates to that level. We have heard from people who use it, we have heard from business owners. And basically, this is just an example that we wanted to show you of one way that we could do a decreased rate in those lots over time and maintain somewhat of a parking fund balance. This does not eliminate the fact that we're going to lose money over time. It just prolongs, gives us more of a time period to be able to work through these issues. And what we did on that is we basically left everything the same as the original proposal, except for we did a 10-cent increase in the lots in 2015 and 2017, and in 2019 we did a 5-cent increase. And as you'll see, if you're looking down at the projected net income, the projected fund balance, when we're all done and over with, we'll be maintaining somewhere around $500,000 fund balance. Those are what we put together today to start our discussion, and again, to continue on is to try to come to some type of solution as to how we're going to fund the division.
Parking meters are capable of being readjusted like this?
That's correct. The bases of our meters are about 12 years old. However, the insets, or the actual mechanism, is computerized. So we are able to adjust these by software, and what we do is we rent a wand from the company. They set up that software, and we actually reset each meter to whatever it is that we want to do.
City manager?
In support of a sustainable fund balance, through you, Mr. Chairman, could Mr. Lamoureux discuss the Well Street issues that have come about as a result of age and use, and just how serious issues like that are?
Basically, prior to my arrival here, there had been some discussion. We had some concrete that had spalled from the first floor level, the ceiling on the first floor, to the ground. And over this last winter, of course, we've had a pretty tough winter and a cold winter. Basically, what is happening is that we have some seepage of water that is getting down into the seams, and we've had a tremendous amount of concrete spalling, breakage of rebar. And to the point that we have 6 spaces right now currently blocked off from usage. We do have some other areas that we've descaled the concrete to be able to continue to use those spaces. There was an RFP right now going out for an engineering firm to evaluate the structure. Part of that RFP, because we know there's going to be a repair that will need to be done, part of that RFP will also state that that engineer and the person who started the project will oversee the project when we hire a contractor. So we don't know what those prices are at this point. We're looking for the evaluation. The RFP should be completed by the end of May, and we'll be able to have a little bit more information for you at that time. What we will say is that it's not a $10,000 fix, based on the comments that we've already heard from our city engineers and looking at it. This is going to be a considerable repair.
Sure.
Speaking directly towards that, isn't that a part of the TIF district responsibility? And we've created a tax incremental district to take care of funding for improvements in a particular area, and I'm just wondering if that's not a part of that or not.
No, I was just going to comment that you would probably want to answer that question.
Well, if he wants to comment, then I would certainly defer to Mr. Lamro.
I think he was saying that you are.
Oh, all right.
It was a lateral pass.
Almost lateral pass. Thank you, Mr. Lamro. So the tax increment financing district, once it's established and there's a narrative that basically suggests what you can do and how you can do it, is mostly for capital projects. The maintenance or the operation of a facility typically is not covered by tax increment financing. So it would depend upon what the nature of the improvement might be, but for the most part, it probably would be exempted from the use of TIF money.
Okay, Councilor Phelps?
Gary, would you clarify again for everybody, rental spaces? Anybody can rent, can reserve a space in any one of those further lots, is that not correct?
We try to balance public parking spaces to those. As a matter of fact, we have just been meeting with the downtown merchants, discussing their concerns and questions and comments. And we've had some pretty good meetings with them, and some of those organizations are actually starting to request more reserve parking. So that would also, you would have a set fee and set income coming in.
Thank you.
Some of the other parking strategies get into not only the amount, but also the time limits. So 10-hour meters to try to direct the downtown employees to the less desirable, but they're less expensive spaces.
Right.
And then keep the really convenient ones, say in front of the stores, quicker turnovers. So there has been an effort, and that I was on the parking commission for more than a few years. It is such a balancing act of time, money, location, fines, all of these variables. Yeah.
When you came up with these proposals to raise the fine and raise the parking rate so